Many people dismiss there being any truth to a secret space program that has reverse engineered extraterrestrial technology. According to Hermann Oberth, one of the founding fathers of rocketry and astronautics, flying saucers are real and there are spaceships from another solar system that are possibly manned by intelligent observers who are members of a race that may have been investigating our Earth for centuries. Apparently, there are people and corporations that are controlling all major media networks and using it to their advantage. The programs doing this extraordinary work exist and are known as Special Access Programs, or SAP. These programs do not exist publicly and are better known as deep black programs. A 1997 US Senate report described them as so sensitive that they are exempt from standard reporting requirements to Congress. Let's delve a bit deeper into the men involved in this secret technology and discover what they knew and what the American government have been trying to hide from the public. Number 5. Ben Rich. In 1993, during a lecture at the UCLA Alumni Center, the late Ben Rich, former CEO of Lockheed Martin, gave a speech about technological advancements in space engineering. Rich stated that we already have the means to travel among the stars, but these technologies are locked up in black projects, and it would take an act of God to ever get them out to benefit humanity. He said, anything you can imagine, we already know how to do. At the end of the speech, Rich said, we now have the technology to take E.T. home. He then showed an image of a mysterious black disc-shaped object flying into outer space. Rich believed there are two types of UFOs, the ones we build and the ones they build. He said, I'm a believer in both categories. Many people believe that Lockheed Martin definitely came into possession of advanced alien technology that they managed to re-engineer, creating the next generation fighters. Rich stated that most biomorphic aerospace designs were inspired by the crashed Roswell spacecrafts. Rich originally believed the American public could not handle the truth about UFOs and ETs. However, he changed his mind towards the end of his life and felt that keeping the secret could be more of a danger to citizens' personal freedom under the United States Constitution than the presence of off-world visitors themselves. Number 4. Bob Lazar. In 1989, Bob Lazar shocked the world when he went on television claiming to have been part of a military operation that worked on alien technology. Lazar said that the government possessed at least 9 alien spacecraft at a base called S4, which is not far from Groom Lake in Nevada. Lazar said EG&G, National Defense Contractors, hired him to help reverse engineer the technology in the alien craft for use in US military vehicles and power production. He claimed he'd taken part of a top secret government program known as Galileo, where he worked as a physicist to reproduce alien technology recovered from otherworldly crafts. The operation was carried out 10 miles south of Area 51, inside an underground secret facility called S4. Inside were a total of 9 aircraft hangars where extraterrestrial crafts were stored. Lazar said he had seen 9 alien crafts during the time he worked there, between December 1988 and April 1989. And he offered relevant and detailed depictions of both their exterior shell and interior mechanism. According to him, their propulsion systems functioned on amplified gravity waves that were generated via a reactor found on the lowest level of the craft. One of his attributions as a physicist involved researching the source's fuel, a compound with the atomic number 115. This particular element had uncanny properties which allowed the flying devices to bend space around them, allowing for 2 points anywhere in the cosmos to be dragged and squeezed together until the transit distance became minimal. However, the catalyst required for this process couldn't be synthesized on Earth. Because Lazar had decided to speak out about this type of work he was carrying out, he claimed that the government had actively tried to erase his existence to discredit him, and the Air Force and Los Alamos National Laboratories denied he'd ever worked for them. Lazar claims that much of our current technology is a result of using reverse engineering on alien spacecraft. Everything from radios to superconductors falls into this category. It is argued that our current technology couldn't possibly have developed the technologies so rapidly without an alien model. Number 3. Don Phillips. Don Phillips was a Lockheed Martin Skunk Works engineer who publicly said UFOs are real and that he and other Skunk Works members had done back engineering on recovered crashed UFO materials and devices to develop cutting-edge aeronautical technology. He said, "When I was working at the Skunk Works with Kelly Johnson, we signed an agreement with the government to keep very quiet about this. Anti-gravitational research was going on. We know that there were captured crafts from 1947 in Roswell. They were real. And yes, we really did put them to work. We knew each other from what we call an unseen industry. We can term it black, deep black, or hidden. The knowledge I have of these technologies came from here. I didn't see the craft, nor did I see the bodies, but I certainly know some of the people that did. There was no question that there were beings from outside the planet." He testifies that we not only have these extraterrestrial devices, but have also achieved tremendous technological advances from their study. Don Phillips further states that there are records and film documentation of meetings in California in 1954 between ETs and leaders of the USA. He lists a few of the technologies we were able to develop because of the ETs. Computer chips, lasers, night vision, bulletproof vests. He is asked whether he thought the aliens were hostile and replies that if they were hostile, with their weaponry, they could have destroyed us a long time ago. 100 years ago, technology of today would be like witchcraft, and these aliens are probably thousands of years ahead of us. Number 2. Mark McCandlish. Mark McCandlish is an accomplished aerospace illustrator and has worked for many of the top aerospace corporations in the United States. McCandlish said that in 1988, his friend Brad Sorensen attended a special air display at Norton Air Force Base and was able to gain entrance to a secured area of the base with a special display for politicians and military personnel with high-level security clearances. His friend told him that in this display there were 3 flying saucers floating above the ground. They made no sound. One of them had the side panels removed so that you could see inside. There was also a monitor showing a video of these crafts being test flown. They made hopping maneuvers and then could shoot straight up at incredible speeds, all the while making no sound. The craft were referred to as Alien Reproduction Vehicles, or ARVs, and also had the nickname the Flux Liner. McCandlish said that he believes these are part of a secret program that has been around for decades. Using his friend's description, McCandlish sketched the vehicle. He has since done research on how he believes the technology works. He says they use zero-point energy, a concept originally theorized by Albert Einstein. Number 1. Clarence Kelly Johnson. The late Clarence Kelly Johnson was one of the greatest aeronautical engineers of all time, who studied aeronautical engineering at the University of Michigan and had worked at Lockheed since the 30s. He was key to the development of many airplanes, including the U-2 and SR-71 spy planes, both of which have been frequently mistaken for UFOs. Johnson was the first team leader of Lockheed Skunk Works, which began in June 1943. They were the team responsible for developing super-secret high-tech aeroplanes and were later located to Area 51, which Johnson helped locate and was responsible for the initial construction. Johnson said he has seen UFOs on at least 2 occasions and he believes the phenomenon to be real. In his report to the US Air Force, he wrote, "I should state that for at least 5 years I have definitely believed in the possibility that flying saucers exist. Having seen a particular object on December 16, 1953, I am now more convinced than ever that such devices exist." Johnson says the sighting took place at his ranch, which was 3 miles west of Agoura, California. He said he could see the object was black and distinct as it moved off at a very high speed. Another witness to the sighting that evening was Chief Flight Test Engineer Rudy Thorin, who also mentioned that he'd seen the same UFO that night. The entire purpose of Area 51 was to create a safe place for testing and work on secret projects isolated from the public. It is claimed that Hangar 18 is where they transferred UFOs. It is quite probable that the craft that crashed in 1947 was taken back to Hangar 18, and the expert to whom they would have referred would have been Clarence Kelly Johnson. In 1964, and only 25 years since the invention of the turbojet engine, they went from an aircraft with a top speed of 500 miles an hour to one with a top speed of 2,200 miles per hour. They've suddenly gone from early jets to the highest performing jet aircraft in existence. Where did the sudden improvement come from? Area 51, and specifically Hangar 18, was basically the playground for many prototypes, especially the SR-71, which was claimed to be reverse engineered from the Roswell crash. It is also claimed that the Roswell craft was not a flying saucer, but a hypersonic aircraft with a rounded triangular shape with small wings closely resembling the SR-71. So what's the Roswell craft, the basis for the S-71 design? Does this explain how they reached peak aerodynamics by reverse engineering the Roswell craft?